What's up, family? Welcome to Positive Power Double XI, J. Royce Films. I'm Jerry Royce Live, and you're watching The Red Room with Shay Samuels, right here on Music Vision Television. That's right, MVTV-21.com. It's going to be awesome, y'all. So please share this file. It's going to be awesome. You know what's going to be? It's going to be lit.
Hello, I'm Dr. Eric Holmes, the author of The Power of the Sea and Soulful Prayers. That is #1 best-selling. And I am in The Red Room with Shay.
Welcome to another episode of The Red Room with your host, Shay Samuels. I'm here today with one of my special sisters, Miss Lekeisha Mosley, who is joining us today for another awesome topic. Before we get into the topic, though, I want you guys to know more about her. So, Miss Lekeisha Mosley, introduce yourself to the viewers.
Well, hello, everyone. I am Lekeisha Mosley, and I am the host of the Lekeisha Mosley Show, and it's stationed out in Baltimore and Atlanta. I am so excited to be on the show today. Definitely a blessing, and definitely happy to be here.
Yeah, we have so much fun. We talk about the behind the scenes of TV and just being sisters. It's nothing like getting an opportunity to really interview, to talk with, to just be transparent with one another. We do it so much, you guys. So this is like just a walk in the park for us. So we're going to have some fun. So you guys stay tuned so that you can have some fun with us. But we have a very awesome topic today. Today we are talking about faith according to grace. That topic in itself, it says a lot. There's so many bullet points to this, but we're going to just drive it home so people can understand that, you know, this whole faith and grace thing is not like a get out of jail free card. And so you're going to talk a lot about that today with us.
Absolutely.
You're going to talk a lot. What do you think about that?
Oh, wow. It's definitely not a get out of jail free card. And I'm saying that with life experience, just transparency. And that's what I believe in. Just being able to witness the favor of the Lord.
Yeah.
And understanding that it's all about you growing, you know, in His guidance and versus, you know, my own guidance. And I've learned a lot on both ways.
Yeah, our guidance can really get us in trouble.
Yes,
can you imagine, like, when you were growing up, there were things that you just felt, our parents told us, like, don't do that. And we would do it anyway, and then we would end up in some sort of trouble. And who do we call first? Our parents. We're just like that with God. Every time God says, don't do this, and we do it, what do? God, we want you to get us out of this. How do we get out of this? And so now you're just going to instruct us on how to overcome that. Talk to us about that. How do you overcome that?
Absolutely. Listen, I can say that I remember many years just doing it my way and just thinking that I knew the right way, you know. And I said, God, you know, I understand what you want me to do, but I promise you this is the right way because I have a blueprint.
So you told God of your blueprint.
I sure did.
Okay.
I was very big in telling Him what to do. You know, God, who created me.
Yes.
Amazing, right?
Yes.
You know, one thing that I've learned is that God is purely a gentleman. You know, He's not going to push you.
Yeah.
He's not going to pull you away from the perspective that you currently have.
Yeah.
He's all about letting you work it because at the end of the day, it's free will.
Yeah.
And that's just, isn't that a good father?
Yeah.
You know, that gives
Goes
us
back
that.
to Adam and Eve, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. So He's going to sit and wait. And if you decide to do it His way, He's there for you.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's grace.
Absolutely.
That's grace. When you said it, there's such a peace that comes with that. That is grace. That's what grace looks like. Grace is not pushy. Grace is patient. Even it talks about it in Corinthians. Love being patient, love being kind, love being not boastful. There's so many things that come with that. And because God loves us so much, He gives us an opportunity to do what we feel is right for us. But He's always waiting behind the scenes for us to just say, God, okay, I'm ready.
Wow, isn't that amazing? Just in that perspective, like God, it's almost like He, you know, I would say it this way. God already knows what we're going to do.
Say it again.
He already
They
knows
didn't
what we're
hear
going to
you.
do. You know, he already knows really the perspective that we're at. So
Yeah.
he knows, you know, the end. And he's still there.
Yeah.
So if he knows the end and he's still there, he knows the highlight of this whole story
Yes.
here. But
Yeah.
a lot of times we feel that anytime that we do something wrong and anytime that we have perceived failures,
Yes.
that it's all over.
Yeah.
God's going to leave us.
Yeah.
He is done with his daughter. This one right here, he's going to go on to the next. But God's like, I'm never going to leave you, never forsake you.
It's like our natural parents, and that's how I look at my relationship with God. It's like my mom was always there, no matter what I did. I talk bad to her. So I apologize, Mom. I say it live in front of everybody. I'm paying for that because there's consequences that come with that. We're going to talk about those consequences because there are definitely consequences that come along with us just feeling like we can go out and do what we want to do, how we want to do it. We have the blueprint and we think that God's just going to allow it to happen that way. So, there's consequences. Talk about the consequences.
Oh, wow. So there is definitely consequences. And, it's funny how you don't think that you will deal with any consequences. And, usually when you're in the middle of a mess,
Yeah.
you remember those things that your parents told you.
Yes.
I can't wait till you get grown. You're going to understand
for
what
it.
I mean. And it's like, I'm never going to. And then when I began to be on my own without that safe haven, because
Yeah.
I feel like our parents
Yeah.
protect us as much as they can.
That is so true.
And then when you're out there, I feel like, wow, God, Mom was right.
Yeah.
So when I entered into adulthood, I went into, the military first, and I was in relationships that I knew I shouldn't have been in, that Mom always told me not to be in, right?
They instructed us. They gave us direction. We still knew. That's why we went for it. Let's just be real with it. That's why we went for it, because Mom said not to go for it. That's why we did it.
Absolutely. So, wow. So you already know. Nevertheless, I ended up in relationships with men that were not right for me. And then when I got married, I got married to my first husband. He was in the military with me, and I thought everything was going well.
Yeah.
At the same time, you know how you get cues to know that you shouldn't get married or marry someone?
Yeah.
And God tells you that, and you miss those cues,
Yeah.
and it's right in front of you.
Yeah.
I said, no, I've already planned everything. This is going to happen.
Yeah.
So I got married, and nevertheless, it was very good in a certain point, but it did go sideways. I received certain types of events in our marriage that was just kind of toxic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just getting in those types of events, it wasn't what God designed for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't that person wasn't a
Yeah.
good person. It's just that wasn't the person that was for you. And nevertheless, it ended in divorce. And I said, God, I can't do this anymore. I don't deserve this anymore. I'm just going to be by myself. And God said, no, don't give up on yourself, because I know the end.
Yes.
So nevertheless, I moved forward, just in single me, and I began to get closer to Christ. It's funny how it's almost like the prodigal son.
Yes.
When he walks out and, wants to do everything on his own, and he realized, things were better back at home.
Yes.
And when I went, I said, what, my going back was really just getting closer to God. I grew up in the church. I grew up knowing who he was. And we began to have our own relationship. I began to really date my father.
Yes.
I really began to begin to be courted
That's
by
good.
my father.
That's
and
good.
and with all of that, I remarried to an amazing man of God that
Yeah.
was sent to me. I didn't go
Wow.
after him.
Right,
You
right.
know, he was sent to me, and just having a beautiful life and having our kids being covered
Yes.
and really know what that covering is, because I got it with my father first.
Yes.
It's
amazing because grace, honestly, it's sufficient. We throw that out kind of like a cliche, but grace is sufficient. God's grace is sufficient. It covers a multitude of our sins. No matter how, and I can imagine our parents and how our parents used to be with us. Although they were upset, they were angry, they could yell at us over and over again, I told you not to do this. But then, regardless if we're hurting, they're going to hug us. They're going to love on us. They're going to kiss the boo-boos, all of that, even in their anger. And that's how I see God with us.
Yes, I really feel that, because a lot of times, God, He knows the end, but at the same time, I feel like life experience does give you a benefit, give you wisdom, where you can begin to, give someone else that same wisdom.
Yes.
It's hard to really teach someone if you've never been through it, if you don't know, really the outcome and how it goes. So it's not so much as knowing everything. Yeah. It's just really, paving the way of, some experience that you experience and begin to teach another the same.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like you said, you really can't go through it and not learn something, not get this, this energy within you. I guess that's the word, this energy within you to want people to know how good God is after that. Because if He did it for you, He'll do it for them. And the exciting part about it is that He picked you to do it.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about it, because you realize, wow, I am worthy.
Yes.
I do deserve this.
Yes.
I'm a part of the team.
Yes.
I'm a part of the house.
I gotta give you a high five on that. I'm part of the team. I'm a part of the team. Yes. Mm-hmm. That's important to know, though. Yes. It's important for us to understand that God's grace is ultimately sufficient. And so right after these messages, we're going to go through, because I want to talk about how we utilize these opportunities to do what we want to do. And we say that grace is going to cover it. I want to utilize the next segment after this to do that. But we're going to take a music break, and we'll be right back after this music break.
And trials I've been through, and I'm not sure about you or who I'm talking to. Insecurities, low self-esteem. Ladies, y'all know just what I mean. It took a long while to get here. I had to fight through so many fears. See, I was left out, overlooked, rejected. My faith was shook. I had to find my way, and now I can't be stopped. Let me make it plain. I'm free, not going back. No slowing down, no taking slack. See, I've come to know just who I am. I am free, free. I'm a free woman, free woman. I'm a free woman, free, free. I know just who I am. Free woman over here, free woman over there. Free woman, wave your hands in the air. If you're glad to be free, show another woman some love. I'd rather build you up than tear you down. I'd rather see you smile than see you frown. 'Cause I'm not hating on you. I'll be the one to help you through. No need to compete, no need for deceit. Ladies, why can't we all be free? Celebrating one another to be who we are to be. I'm so filled with love, I'm brand new. I'm your sister girl, and you don't have a clue. 'Cause I've got work to do. No wasting time on you. Tired of being down, tired of feeling low. I'm dreaming big, I'm letting go. It feels good to show. Said all that I am, all that I am. Free, I'm a free woman. Free, I'm a free woman. I know just who I am. Free woman over here, free woman over there. Free woman, wave your hands in the air. If you're glad to be free, show another woman some love, some love. Free, free. It's time that we build each other up, ladies. No need to tear each other down. We all got a purpose in Jesus. Woo! Said I'm free, indeed, I'm free, indeed, I'm free, indeed, I'm free, 'cause I'm free, I'm free, thank God I'm free, yeah. 'Cause I'm free, indeed, I'm free.
Welcome back to the Red Room. I am your host, Shay Samuels, and I'm here with my sister, Lekeisha Mosley. Today, we're talking about faith according to grace. This has been an awesome topic, and I wanted to continue the topic on because there's so much that can be had here. What I want people to get is an understanding of the redemption. Although we have made mistakes, although we feel God's not going to forgive us, there are examples in the Bible that we're going to talk about today. There are true examples in the Bible where God's grace showed his sufficiency. I mean, God's grace and his love, even in our errors, still abound over the sin. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that on this segment. So we were talking about Adam and Eve just a second ago. We were talking about God's grace for them and how God knew what they were going to do. God knows what we're going to do before we do it. But yet his grace was still sufficient. And when they were, like Adam said, goes, where are you? He hid. He ran, and it's like, you're hiding. Someone said yesterday, they said God created the tree and Adam hid behind the tree that God created, and Adam was created by God. So you hid behind something that God created, like God's not going to know you're behind there. And he goes, what did you do? For lack of better terms, what did you do? And Adam goes, she did it. But his grace, he goes, I'm naked. And God's like, how did you know? But God still clothed them even in their sin. How loving is that?
That's so amazing, and it's so loving. It really just shows exactly the kind of father that we have,
yes.
His character. It really just shows us just truly the definition of a father.
Amen.
I mean, when you think about a father,
yeah.
It's someone who protects you. It's someone who guides you your way. It's someone who equips you of all the things that you need in order for you to live a good life, in order for you to be self-sufficient. But he doesn't let you go without you understanding. You know, and I feel like that's just what her father was. And, you know, when you think of Adam and Eve, they truly, truly loved God. Mm-hmm. You know, he created them.
Yes.
You know, they went to work. Mm-hmm. You know, Adam went to work. He literally did exactly what the father said. Yeah. You know, Eve came on the scene exactly as she needed to, and she, you know, began to be by his side. So when the deceiver came, you know, it was something that they weren't ready for. Yeah. And I feel like they forgot what God was in that moment. Yeah. You know, and they began to truly believe their own human logic. Yes. You know, so eating this apple became something, you know, that was just, you know, mind-blowing. It was something that was just, you know, something that God probably did not take in account. Oh, he doesn't know about this. Yes. He really needs to know that this is really
small
great.
Things.
Yeah, you know, so just believing someone else's word. How many times do we do that? Yeah. Believe someone else's word. Yeah. Over what the Father taught us. You know, I believe both of us, we understand that. Yeah. Growing up, understanding who God was. Yeah. But then we hear another voice. Yeah. You know, and you know, allowing this other voice to take the lead. Yeah. You know, and it's a huge trick of the enemy. Yeah. But it's okay. Yeah. Because even with all of that, God still was there. Yeah. And when we talk about redemption, you know, I feel that God already had that plan in place. You know.
There's always a plan in place. There's always a plan in place.
Absolutely. So when that plan is in place, I feel like God puts that plan together not as a safety net. Yeah. You know, not as something, oh, well, I have this in place because I know they're going to do wrong. But it's always in place because God's never going to leave you, never going to forsake you. Yeah. Anything you do, he's going to make it good. Yeah. He's going to wash it away. Yeah. And, you know, one thing about it is when we talk about redemption, God does not remember the past. Yeah. God does not remember the flaws that we did. Yeah. He's looking forward. You know, so a lot of times our human nature is to look back. Remember what happened when, you know, we look back. Yeah. And that was defined to us to let us know that God is not there. Yes. He's always forward. Yes. And when we understand where God is, we need to understand, you know, we need to keep up with him. Yeah. Because he's never going to leave us nor forsake us. At the same time, we need to understand that he's building forward for your life. Yeah. So redemption is always there because he's never looking back to erase something. Yeah. You know, so a lot of times we're looking back and trying to bring this baggage, you know, this huge suitcase. God, don't forget, wait a minute, we got to bring this, I got to fix this. Right. I got to scrub this clean. God's like, I'm not there. I'm not trying to scrub it clean. So why are you trying to scrub it clean? Right. He's like, I'm way ahead. I'm building houses up here. I need you to come with me. That's so good. So when we think about redemption, we need to understand that God is not in the the mindset of trying to fix anything
Yeah.
from our past.
Yeah.
He's already bringing new forward.
Yes, that's good. That's good. One of the things that you said, you mentioned about fathers, and you said that it's just God is just like our father. And there are a lot of people, women and men, who have not been raised by their natural father. And so the attachment of that rejection, that neglect, that's why a lot of people feel it's okay for them to do what they do. They've already made a survival plan for themselves. And then it's only when we get older, that's why the Bible says, when I was a child, I spake as a child. It's only when we get older that we find true revelation of God's kind of love. And then I see a lot of women and men going back to forgive their fathers because of it. Have you seen that?
I absolutely have. A lot of times we have our own perspective of how things are going to go in our life. Like you said before, you said that, we already had a plan. We already have a blueprint of how we were going to do, because we never had a father.
Yeah.
We never had a mother.
Yeah.
We never had anyone to protect us, anyone to guide us that way. But like I said, God is always moving forward. So remember, God is always moving with you forward.
Yes.
So that is your father that's never going to leave you nor forsake you. If you didn't have a natural father on this earth that decided, to be with you and leave you, God is with you.
Yes.
God is that father in your life. God is that mother in your life. He's that betrayal that happened to you. He's that protection that lets you know, listen, you have him. You don't have to carry anything else. So, when you go through the things you go through, you can always receive the lessons. You can always receive the wisdom in it. So you can take that and move forward. But understand that you can move forward in your life when you begin to have children, when you begin to, become an adult, because a lot of people have children before they're adult. A lot of people have children, without, a spouse to raise those children. Don't look at that as a bad thing, because God is with you. He's always going to be that additional that you need in order to move it on. He's going to bring those people in your life in order for you to begin to move forward. Have you ever seen that where the protection was always there?
Yes, I call it Hansel and Gretel, because Hansel and Gretel, I don't know why God took me back to that a while ago, but the breadcrumbs, the fact that they left the breadcrumbs, and it's almost like how God, those little nuggets, how God does us, those breadcrumbs always take us back to home. Wherever home was for us, those breadcrumbs always take us back. And when God showed me those nuggets, I mean, the whole story in itself was like, it was a childhood story, but for God to give it to me at this age, they were almost devoured by the old lady in the home, but how God turned that thing around. Those stories were real. We didn't see it then, but they were about to be eaten. They were being prepped for meals. And that whole situation turned around. But the breadcrumbs are what got them back home. And so, I do. I've seen that, where God has just turned that thing all the way around. There's something else that we do now in this era. For some reason, we feel that grace is that we talked about that in the beginning of the episode, the get out of jail free card. And so this era here, the teenagers and some adults, I'm not going to just put it on the teenagers, I'm not going to say teenagers, but some adults, we feel that we don't have to be good stewards of our finances. Why? Because our we have the blessing plan. We call it the blessing plan. Well, I don't have to pay my tithes. The blessing plan. We don't have to be good stewards of our lives. The body's our temple, so we don't have to eat right. We don't have to do. But it's always like, well, God will take care of that. God knows my heart. God knows all about me, and we feel that God's grace is. We don't have to do anything because of God's grace. We can just run amok, run the world crazy, and then grace is going to take care of that.
That's something that you say, we kind of sometimes categorize God's grace, like you said, as a get out of jail free card. And we don't understand really the definition of grace. Grace is there for you to let you know, listen, he's with you all the way. It's not about you getting it right the first time or the second time or the third time. I've been there. But it's all about him letting you know it's not about getting it perfect, but it's about moving forward. He sees your heart. It's doing a heart check. when we do a heart check and when we understand, our motives, then we're not really relying on grace in the perspective of really doing harm to ourselves, doing harm to someone else. Well, you know what? I'm not going to save this money or pay this this rent this month. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to. I'm not going to be honest on my taxes. Because God knows I just don't know everything. And no. So it's almost like, you know what's right to do, but you don't do it because of, this grace. No, that's not what it was for. God, that's for to let you know that, listen, God is with you, carrying you all the way. At the same time, we need to honor the man that loves us so much. And when you honor him, you're not going to want to do wrong by him. You say, you know what? I don't want to do wrong by him because I don't want him to look at me any type of way, even though he's not. I feel that unction in my spirit that I don't want him to look. I don't even want to perceive that he's looking at me wrong. So I do want to do everything right to my ability, and rely on him in that way, not to take something from him that is not right. I want to sleep at night.
I think Colossians 3:17 says everything you do unto the Lord. But we're going to go ahead and close this episode out. Lekeisha, I am so thankful again that you've been here. This has been a great topic. Before we go, can you just let everyone know where to find you?
Absolutely. You can find me on my website, LekeishaMosley.com. You can also find me on my TV show, Lekeisha Mosley Show, on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also find me on all social media platforms and definitely on Amazon and all of those episodes as well.
And again, we just want to thank you for coming by, again, just stopping by and just visiting with us and taking part of what we're doing today. And for you guys, you stay tuned for the next episode of The Red Room. I'm your host, Shay Samuels, and I love you.